Hello, come join me as I introduce a kindergarten classroom to our friend and guest in the art room, Mr. Brush. Mr. Brush is a great way to teach students how to appropriately use a brush and make sure that they are using the brush in such a way that it won't damage the bristles. I hope you enjoy. When we're talking with Mr. Brush, remember Mr. Brush is the superhero of the art room, right? His job is to help keep the brushes safe. And so this is a brush that unfortunately is having a bad hair day. This is the one we were looking at earlier. And the reason he's having a bad hair day is when somebody was painting with him, they took all the bristles and spread it apart and they scrubbed. And they scrubbed and they scrubbed. And then when it was done, look.
Like a mop.
Like a mop. We don't want to use the brush like a mop though. We want to use the brush like a broom and we want to sweep. So when we paint, we want to sweep. And we want to keep all the bristles together so that Mr. Brush doesn't get a headache and has a nice hairdo, right? He makes a nice straight line when he has a good hair day. So now when you get your paper, what we're going to do is we are going to first write our name. So I'm going to write Mrs. Sosa. And we need to write K. What do we need to write? K-A. Because your teacher is Mrs. Yep. That's right. So then we're going to flip it over. And you are going to get a container of just black paint because we're going to practice with black paint first. Now, Mr. Brush is also like a ballerina. When Mr. Brush paints, he dances like a ballerina. And when a ballerina dances, she dances on her tippy toes. So like a ballerina, we want Mr. Brush to paint on the tippy tip of his brush. So when I dip my brush in, see how I have paint just on the tippy tip? There's space between the paint and the metal. There's no paint on the top of my brush here, just at the tip. Now when I paint my first line, we're going to start with the easiest one. Which line is the easiest one up on the board?
Straight.
Straight. We're going to start really easy. We're going to start by painting a straight line. Now if I run out of paint, what I can do is I can turn my brush and use the paint on the other side. If I still run out of paint, I can go back and remember just the tip, right? Ballerina dancing in the paint, just the tip. And then I'm going to finish going all the way across. Now, what's the next line on my list? Wavy. So I'm going to make a wavy line. I'm going to get more paint. I'm going to dip just the tip. See that? Just the tip, and I'm going to start on one side of my paper, and I'm going to make a wavy line all the way across. I'm turning my brush. Oh, I'm running out of paint. So I need to go back in, dip just the tip. Ballerina, remember, that's what Mr. Brush is.